Hi everyone, it's Mike here. Now today I'm going to be sharing with you a rather strange project. Now occasionally we stumble upon something, and it could be an image or an item, an ornament or something like that, which is completely out of our normal area that we would kind of like. But sometimes we see things that really do appeal to us. Now it appeals to us on a kind of bizarre, absurd level. And that happened to me quite recently. I was on a Facebook group and there was a photograph there taken by a chap called Tony Stubblefield. And the photograph had been taken while he was out antiquing one Sunday afternoon. And he'd spotted a basket of old Ken dolls. Now, these were on sale for like $1 a piece in there, but he just thought it was quite funny the way they'd been dumped in a basket together, particularly because some of them were unclothed. Now, this kind of sparked his absurd streak through him, and he took a picture of it. And I thought it was quite funny on quite a few different levels. And I asked Tony whether I could use this image in a video and an art journal page, and he graciously said yes. So what you're about to see is the art journal page that I created using this image of Tony's. And yes, it's strange. Yes, it's bizarre. Some of you will get it and some of you won't. But that's okay, because I've said many times, journal pages appeal to different people and I can't please everybody all the time. So some of you will get this and some of you won't, but that's okay. Enjoy the process and I'll see you at the end. I'm going to begin with today's project by using this Ranger Manila number 8 tag, and I've picked 3 distress inks. I've got Barn Door, Spiced Marmalade, and this is the new Fossilised Amber. So this technique's been done a million times before, and all I'm going to do is just squeeze some water once I have a full bottle onto the ink that I've put on the craft mat, and then we're just going to smoosh all of that ink together on the manila tag. So I'm going to try and use up as much of the ink that's on the mat as possible, so you'll see me drag it around and dip it back in and out and in and out again. So I've got as much ink as that I want onto the tag. Now I'm just going to start the process of drying the tag out. And as you know, because it's quite wet, this will take some time. And I'm just going to add a little bit more water to it and then just heat it off. Now this is going to set the ink into the manila tag, so it won't actually reactivate as much once you've done this. So I'm just going to pick up everything that I can and then give it a real good dry. So again, another very familiar technique. I'm just going to spray some water onto my hand and let that drop randomly onto the tag, and then I'm going to let it sit for a second or two, and then I'm just going to put a piece of kitchen roll over the top and lift the ink off. Now as you can see, not a lot has come off. That's because I did wet it again before I dried it, and that kind of does seal the colour in a little. So I'm pretty happy with the colour of the tag now, and I know that not a lot of the ink's going to move if it gets wet again. So I'm going to put it to one side, and then I'm going to start work on my base page. So this is a piece of £200 or 425 GSM watercolour card, and it's cut to 12 by 8. And this is the saffron archival ink. And the stencil I'm using is called Distress Dots from a company based here in the UK called That Special Touch. I'm randomly just placing the dots around the page. I'm kind of keeping to kind of a linear pattern, one that just goes across the page. I'm not going up or down with this. And then I'm going to switch out the ink for the archival ink. It's a red one called Vermilion. There you go. And I'm going to swap my phones out, and I'm just going to press through a large dot like so. So ready to add my tag, I'm just going to grab my matte Mod Podge and I'm just going to slap some down on the page around about there, which is around about a third over to the left of the page, and then just add some to the back, and then I'm just going to stick this down. Now I'm not too bothered if it's not stuck down completely. I want a little bit of texture, so I want the edges to curl up a little bit and look as though they are coming off the page. So I'm not sticking it down fully, and I'm not going to go over and seal it either. Next addition to my page is going to be my quote, which I've already printed out on my computer and cut out in a block. And it was printed with an inkjet printer, and I haven't sealed it or covered it with anything. So I haven't sealed it, I haven't added any chapstick, I've no micro glazes. I've literally just taken it from the printer, cut it out and stuck it down. And luckily, the ink hasn't run. So I'm bringing back the stencil that I used previously. I'm just going to use some of the ink that I've used again previously, and I thought I would add some more of those dots on the page, and then after I'd done the first one I kind of changed my mind and put it away. And then I'm going to bring out my main focal image from this. Now this is a photograph that was given to me to use by a chap called Tony Stubblefield. Tony's an American guy, and he took this photograph while he was out antiquing last year sometime and thought it was quite amusing, and so did I. It's a basket full of Ken dolls, and I just thought it was quite a fun image, so I asked him whether I could borrow it and use it in an art journal page. So thank you, Tony. I have quite a few of the Tim Holtz photopolymer stamp sets from Stampers Anonymous, and I don't use them often enough, so I thought I'd dust one off to use on this page. I'm just going to use this string of numbers just as a bit of a highlight and a little bit of structure onto the page. The next stamp set I'm going to use is the Take the Time stamp set from Indigo Blue, and I'm going to use these pen nib stamps, again I'm just going to use the archival ink, and I'm just going to stamp that down twice on the page, once at the bottom here, and I'm not bothered about the fact that I have got a gap where the tag is, because that will be covered later on, and then I'm going to add a little bit more or another one of those stamped impressions on the edge coming in from the left. And you may have also noticed that I've actually caught the edge of the stamp with the ink above the pen nibs that you can just see on the right hand side now. There's like a little faint line which is just above the nibs. I'm not too worried about that because I will be able to disguise that later. So the next items I'm going to add to my page are some of the Tim Holtz label letters and big chat stickers. Now I've spelt out the words who needs in the individual letters, where I'm going to stick those down where that gap is that hasn't stamped down with the pens. So I knew that I was going to put it there, so I wasn't too bothered the fact that there actually is a little bit of a gap. And you'll just see me fiddling around with that D because it won't stick down, but I eventually managed to get it to stick. It was a bit fiddly, but I managed to get there in the end. And then I'm just going to add the last word, which is the reality. So these are already self-adhesive, so you don't really need to go over them again with any sealer, but you can do if you so wish. So I wanted to add some washi tape to the page as well, just to disguise the bottom edge of that basket. And I thought the perfect addition for this would be the Dicky Tie washi tape that was sent to me in Happy Mail by Cindy Utter. So thank you, Cindy. Time for a little bit more stenciling. This is the industrial stencil from Tim Holtz and Stampers Anonymous. I'm just going to use the same red vermilion archival ink that I used before and just stencil through with the ink some of the words from this stencil. So I'm happy with the stenciling, and I'm happy kind of with the white space that's still left there. I'm not going to try and cover everything. So all that's left now is just to add a little bit of black line doodling. And I think that is just about it. I don't think I'm going to do any more to this page at all. See, I told you it was weird. So that's the page for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please remember to give it a thumbs up, share, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. It may be here or it may be there. I can't remember which side of the screen it's on. It's my age. That's all from me. I'll see you all again real soon. Bye for now.